welcome to another Hayley-Roxanna crafts video on crocheting. In this video I'm going to demonstrate the puff stitch and the bead stitch, which, like the popcorn and bubble stitches that I demonstrated in my last video, are raised crochet stitches used to add texture to your crochet pieces. So if I just show you quickly, this stitch here is a puff stitch, and this stitch here is bead stitch. I will give you a better view of those once I get into the demonstrations as well. Puff stitch and bead stitch are formed in similar ways, and they both do use a fair bit of yarn to create. But the puff stitch is a straight stitch usually, whereas the bead stitch is a slanted stitch, which I will show you in my demonstrations. So here are the puff stitches on my fall into autumn blanket in a bit more detail. There's 2 rows of puff stitches here, and the puff stitch is also being used to form these wheat stalks as well. So I'll now show you how to do the puff stitch. So puff stitches can be worked into any type of stitch, even into spaces between stitches. So I've just got a row of double crochet stitches if you are using UK terms, or single crochet stitches if you're working in US terms. Rows that have puff stitches in them can also have other stitches. It's usually the treble crochet stitch in UK terms, as the puff stitch is the same height as a treble crochet. If you're working in US terms, that would be your double crochet. So I'm going to start the row by doing a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this counts as a treble crochet in the UK terms, double crochet in US. I will stick to just using the UK terms from now on. And 1 chain space. You now skip the next stitch, so that's this one here, and I'm going to work into the next stitch along, and you do a yarn over to make your puff stitch. Insert the hook into that stitch and pull through, and then you want to pull that up so it's the height of a treble crochet, like so. And then we are going to repeat that 3 more times. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull through and pull that loop up. Repeat it again, yarn over, insert, pull through and just pull it up, like so. Yarn over, insert and pull it up. And at this point you should have 9 loops on your hook. It's quite hard to see them, if I can just separate them for you. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then you're going to do another yarn over, and this time you want to pull through 8 of those loops. Okay, so it's literally everyone apart from the very first one that was on your hook. All right, and just carefully pull them through like so. And then we do another yarn over and just pull through those last 2 loops to create your puff stitch. And then you do a chain 1, skip the next stitch on the previous row, and we can do another puff stitch into the next. So I will just demonstrate that again. So we're doing a yarn over, insert the hook and pull through and pull it up so it's the height of a treble crochet. Yarn over, insert, pull through, so that's twice, yarn over, insert, pull through. So that's 3 times, and then one more time, yarn over, insert, pull through. And then we're doing a yarn over and pulling through 8 of those loops, like so. And then a yarn over and pull through the last 2. Okay. That forms another puff stitch. And then we can just continue that along the row and do another treble crochet at the end to finish the row off if you'd like. You can vary the number of times that you do the yarn over and pull ups to vary the size of your puff stitches if you like. The norm seems to be to do that 4 times. So you end up with the 9 loops on your hook. And the biggest tip I can give you when doing puff stitches is to really relax your tension, especially if you're quite a tight crocheter, because if you pull these too tight, you then have trouble getting the yarn through the 8 loops. So you want to make it as easy as possible for yourself by relaxing, and take it nice and steady as well, nice and slow. So there is a very short row of puff stitches, but puff stitch can be worked on either the right or the wrong side of your work. So I'm going to turn this round and I'm going to do 4 chains again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to work a puff stitch into this space, into the chain space from the previous row. So we do our yarn over, insert the hook into the space, pull through and pull that up so that it is the height of a treble crochet. Yarn over, insert, pull through, so that's twice. Yarn over, insert, pull through, 3 times, yarn over, insert, pull through, 4 times, so we've got those 9 loops, and then we'll do the yarn over, pull through 8, very carefully, just give that hook a wiggle to get it through, like so, and then yarn over and pull through those last 2. Chain 1, and then we can repeat that in the next chain space. So yarn over, insert, pull it through and pull that loop up. Yarn over, insert, pull up. Yarn over, insert, pull up. Yarn over, insert, pull up. Yarn over, so I've done the 4, so I'm pulling through my first 8. Like so, and then yarn over and just pull through my last 2. Okay, and there we go, and then that can be continued across the row if you wish, however you want to do it. Like I said, it is just a case of practicing the puff stitches. They can be tricky to start with, especially get that tension right so that your puff stitches don't end up too loose, but they are loose enough that you can pull your hook through the loops to make it. Okay, you could space the puff stitches out even more and use sort of treble crochet, using the UK terms in between them, just for different effects. So like I did with the wheat stalks on the fall into autumn blanket. So here is a close-up of the bead stitch on my pandemonium blanket. Bead stitches are usually worked on the right side of your work. For the best effect, you want them on the same side anyway, so they're usually done with a other row of stitches in between. That can be double crochets, treble crochets, half treble crochets. Those are all in the UK terms, so whichever you like, and again they can be worked into whatever stitch you like as well. So I'll now show you how to do a bead stitch. So I'm just going to work bead stitches into this row of double crochets, in UK terms, single crochets in the US. Again, for ease, I will stick to just saying the UK terms while I demonstrate this. So I'm going to start by doing a chain 3 to count as my first treble. 2, 3, and then just for the sake of it, I'm just going to do another treble in the next stitch anyway. You don't have to, it can be worked amongst any number of trebles. You normally use treble stitches in the same row as your bead stitch because, again, bead stitch is the height of a treble, so it just makes sense, and to give the best effect with them. Okay, so now I'll work my bead stitch. So to do that, I need to skip 1 stitch, and then I'm just going to start by making a treble crochet in the next stitch. So I'm doing a yarn over, insert the hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So it's just a standard treble crochet, nothing complicated about that. I'm now going to do the bead around this treble. So this is why the bead stitches are slanted, although they're similar to the puff stitches. So I'm going to do a yarn over, and then I'm going to insert the hook from front to back around this treble crochet. So you want to go in the front, round the back, like so. Yarn over and pull that through. And again, you don't want to pull this too tight because it will make it difficult for the next bit. And we're going to repeat that 3 times. So yarn over, insert front to back around your treble and pull through. Yarn over, insert front to back around your treble and pull through, like so. And then you're going to do 1 more yarn over, and you want to pull through the 7 loops that are on your hook. Okay, so we've got 7 loops there. I'll just separate them slightly so you can see. And then we're going to just pull through. You have to sort of wiggle your hook a little bit sometimes to get it through, like so. And there is your bead stitch. Okay, so I'll show you that again. So we're going to skip 1 stitch. We're going to work a treble into the next stitch along, just as normal. And then we're going to do a yarn over, insert the hook front to back around that treble crochet and pull through. Yarn over, insert front to back and pull through. Yarn over, insert front to back and pull through. So you've done that 3 times to give you 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the 7 loops, just giving that crochet hook a little wiggle to get it through. It can be tricky. And there we go. Okay. So the reason you don't need to do the chain stitches in between is because you actually get sort of 2 stitches on the top, 1 from the treble crochet that you have formed, and then 1 from doing what is essentially the equivalent to a puff stitch around that treble crochet. So that keeps your number of stitches the same as the row below. I know sometimes with bead stitch that does confuse people and they feel like they need to be doing a chain 1, but then they end up with too many stitches on the row. And again, just like with the puff stitch, you do need to relax your tension a little bit for doing the bead to get those stitches around that treble. So especially if you're quite a tight crocheter, and take it nice and slowly, especially when you're pulling through, to make sure that you're not catching your hook on any of those loops as you come through. Like I said, sometimes you just need to give it just a little wiggle. So there is my short completed row of bead stitches. Like I said, bead stitches you normally keep on the same side of your work. So if you're working them on the right side, do that for all the bead stitches in your project, just to give it a sort of even look. But you could experiment and try them on the wrong side as well as the right side of your work, to see how it comes out and see if you like that. Like with most things, most stitches in crochet, it's sort of personal preference how you want your work to look. So it's worth experimenting with things. But if I was going to do another row of bead stitches, I would first come back along with a row of probably double crochets. You don't have to. It could be a row of half trebles. It could be a row of treble crochets. Again, it's all about what look you're going for, what your personal preference is. So I'm just going to work back along my row like so. And your bead stitches, again, they do require some practice, and they can take a while to do, but it's all part of the fun of crocheting, isn't it, and learning the different skills and different stitches. Okay, so I've come back, and I would then turn my work, and I would just work another row of bead stitches exactly as I did before. Again, you don't have to do the bead stitches like this. You could work one and then maybe put some trebles in between before you do another. Just play around with it, and see what you like and what effects it gives you, and whether you want to use that in your work. So I hope those demonstrations have encouraged you to try adding puff stitches and bead stitches to your crochet projects. I will put information about the projects that I've shown you in this video in my description, along with any links to items or similar items to those that I've used in this video. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them for you. And that's it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!